also want to contribute on the principle of debate. Mr. Speaker, this budget, which is christened Budget of Economic Recovery and Resilience, in my view, is practicable, even though we have one or two issues in the budget. Why I'm saying this, Mr. Speaker, is that if you look at the benchmark of the budget of 2021 of $40 per barrel, to me is realistic given the situation we have found ourselves. And to say that we are projected 1.8 million barrels per day is also a little bit practicable, considering the fact that in 2020 budget, even the revised budget, the projection is 1.80 million per day. So this is a little bit practicable. My only fear is the exchange rate, which is 379 as against 360. This one is neither here nor there, but because it's a planning situation, we will leave it at 379. Mr. Speaker, what elated me to some extent is that if you look at the budget projection, it's about 7.9 trillion, now which is higher than the 5.8 trillion that was also projected in the 2020 revised budget, which means there's an increase to the extent that we have 3.9 expenditure for capital expenditure alone, which is also higher than the previous years. If we can increase expenditure on capital, our economy can take off on a good grounds. However, Mr. Speaker, I know that even that the actual collection, the revenue projections are not also the same with the actual collections. Because in the last 3 years, I'm aware also that the revenue projections underperformed with about only 47% as the highest in the last 3 years, which I believe it is not very good. In fact, even Mr. President was worried that the revenue target is not as expected. And that was why the President said that, that this year he's going to fast track to bring the bill of 2020 finance bill so that we can be able to put the revenue issues in proper perspective. Mr. Speaker, I can say that the little bit worrisome thing in this 2021 budget is that we just have to borrow, and which means we are going to finance our budget also through borrowing, and we are expected to borrow close to 4.something trillion, Mr. Speaker. And that, Mr. President, also expressed worry to some extent. But I think the budget is a little bit realistic, but we will have one or two issues that we have to work on this one. But my advice, Mr. Speaker, that in 2021 budget, since we have a deficit, the borrowing should be more or less internal or domestic borrowing. That will help, because as of today, the interest rate is very low. So if we do domestic borrowing, and by the time we are servicing the debt, the interest rate will be low, and that will be good. And again, we have to reduce cost of governance. If we reduce cost of governance, we are likely to also free cash for capital projects. And that if we free cash for capital projects, that means that the economy will rejig. I'm very happy that the Ministry of Works has the highest. And if the Ministry of Works has the highest, there will be too much construction, road construction, other construction activities will kick off. And that means that we will have the economic activities taking off. Mr. Speaker, I must say that from Yola to Gombe, where our road is having issues and is in the budget, from Yola to Genye, with my constituency, the road is in the budget, it's having issues. So if this money is released, it will really help us a great deal. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we should work hard to see that this budget is passed at the right time, because the planning of the budget will be good, and I feel that it is good for us to holistically work to ensure that this budget is also passed at good time as promised. And I believe that my colleagues will do well so that we can plan well. Where there are issues, we can be able to trash those issues. That is my contribution, Mr. Speaker, and I so submit. Thank you.